Hi everyone, hope you are doing good. Welcome to the next video on my YouTube channel. My name is Saurabh Bharti, Microsoft Dynamics 365 professional. This is the platform where I come and share my knowledge and experience with you all. So without further delay, let's start today's video. Today is the next video on the series of functional consultant. Now today I'm going to talk about the one of the most important tool which is required for us as a functional consultant in each and every implementation. So it is very important for us to understand, and we all would have nowadays most of our implementation we would have seen that there is one particular tool which we are using in each and every implementation, which is the Azure DevOps. So today we are going to talk about Edge Functional Consultant. What is Azure DevOps for us? What does it mean for us? Azure DevOps can be used in a various ways, and it can be used for different. It can be used by different people in the project, by the project manager, technical architect, solution architect, and functional consultant, test team. But today we will try to focus on that Azure functional consultant. What are the basics which we need to understand about the Azure DevOps? So let's move further. So just a quick recap. So in this video series, the last video which I have created, it was around the requirement gathering process. So this is the next part on the same topic. And if you remember, we have divided the requirement gathering into different processes, because requirement gathering is a very important and a critical part for a solution design. Now we are talking about the preparation phase as of now, and in the previous video we have spoken about that how do you prepare yourself for the requirement gathering with your stakeholders. So starting from understanding the key principles for the requirement gathering, to the different templates which you would require, the process catalog, workshop template, questionnaires, etc. So we have spoken about all those things. Now to use all those things, and before you go to the gathering phase of the requirement, we need to also understand this tool Azure DevOps, and that is the reason I have decided to create a small video on this topic as a functional consultant, which we need to be aware about. So we are talking about the preparation phase in the requirement. Prepare yourself for the requirement gathering. Now, one of the things which we can ask that what is Azure DevOps for a functional consultant, and in general, what is the Azure DevOps means for anyone, and what is the definition for the Azure DevOps? If you would ask Azure DevOps, what is Azure DevOps to 10 different people, you might get 10 different answers. But I have taken the first definition from the official Microsoft docs, which I can put in the description as well. That DevOps is the union of people, process, and the product to enable a continuous delivery of value to the customers. Right now, if you understand that people, process, and product, it is aligned with the three pillars which we have discussed: that people, process, and the technology. Right. So Azure DevOps is the union of everything. In a simple terms, if I want to understand as a functional consultant, it enables me to manage my end-to-end project activity, and it's a tool for me to manage all my activities, all the processes and the task. It also helps me in monitoring the progress of my different activities on the projects by providing different dashboards and the reports from the Azure DevOps portal. It's a single repository for all the project documentation and activities if we use this tool properly. Now, it is a recommended tool by the Microsoft for the Microsoft D365 implementation, but it is possible that in few implementation you see that customer or the partners are using some other tool. But we are taking the assumption here that in most of our implementation, the Azure DevOps is being used. So Azure DevOps provides the different services, and if I talk about what are the services it has, so it has the Azure boards. So this is what is most important for us as a functional consultant, the first service. So these are the agile tools that help us in planning, tracking, and discussing our work even with the other team members. So it also helps us in collaborating with different team members. Then you have got the Azure pipelines, which is not specifically for the functional consultant, but this is for the technical team, where this will let us build a test deploy with CI/CD that works with any language platform in the cloud. So basically, if you as a function consultant, we can say that for any code deployment and code management perspective, the Azure pipelines are used. The third one is also uh, possibly is important for us, which is for Azure test plans. So it helps us in managing the test plans, test scenario, test cases for the processes and the functions which we have identified for our implementation. We are going to talk about more on this when we reach to the test phase of the project life cycle. There are two additional more services which we have: Azure repositories and Azure artifacts. Again, that's not specifically required for us as a function consultant. It is for a different purpose, so I'm not going to talk about these two services as of now. So let's move forward. If you talk about what are the key features we need to understand from the Azure DevOps perspective for a functional consultant. So it helps us in creation of the project. There is something which is called as work item. So it helps us in work item creation. The work item has a different types. You would have heard the epic, feature, task, user story, bug, right? So there are different type of work items which we can create. You also have got the queries for query management for these work items. So you can create a different queries, personal basis or the shared basis. Then you have the work item management. How do you assign? How do you update? How do you have the attachment in a work item? How do you check the history of that work item? How can you bulk update the work item? So these are the different features which we have. And then also, if you just remember, there was one more one more service which we had is the test management, where we can define different test scenarios, test plans, run test cases. So all these things we can also define, and these are the key features from the functional consultant perspective we should be aware of. So let's see a quick demo how it looks. What is this portal? I will try to show you these key features, and so that the next time when you are using the Azure DevOps in your project, you are aware about all these things. So this is my Azure DevOps portal. Now, one of the key important thing here is that before we start with any services which we want to use, so if you see, there are 5 different services which you have it here. Now, before that, we need to understand that in which project we are going to work. So if you remember, if you are aware about the LCS, I'm going to explain you the LCS as well, but it's similar to the LCS. We also need to have the project created here to work on that particular project and the task and the activities. So here for the demo purpose, I have created one project which is Dynamics class implementation. Now I can click on this, and once I click on this, it is going to give me the details about this particular project. Now on the left hand side, you can see the different options which are available here. So you can go the overview, which will be this page, then summary. Then you can have certain dashboards for the reporting which you can create in the system. So if you click on the dashboard right now, there is no dashboard which is available, but you can create different dashboards here just to see the progress. Like, let's say how many number of user stories I'm having, how many number of bugs I am having in the system by the users or by the status. So kind of a Power BI dashboard. You can have these dashboards created in Azure DevOps as well. You have the wiki here available, where you can create the different wiki pages for the team members so that everyone can get all the information at one single page. Like for example, you can have the list of environment created here. You can put a tracker for the holidays for your team so that everyone can come to this place and then they can specify their holidays and etc things. The most important thing as a functional consultant is this Azure board, right? In the Azure board, if you see, there are different things which are available, and the most important thing for us is the work item. So everything in the Azure DevOps which is assigned to you is called as work item. Now every work item has got a type. So if here are certain work items which I have created, which I would show you, but what these work items are. But before that, if you have to create your any of the new work item, you can click on this new work item option, and here you have an option of that what is the type of work item you would like to create. Now in a typical project, it depends on the project manager, on the solution architect, or the governance team, that how they want to manage their different types of work item, what are the different types of work item they want to use it in the project. So it depends on them. But if you have to create a new work item, so you can click here, and then you can, let's say I want to create a task here. So now what I can do here is that a new task will be created, and depending on my work item configuration, what are the fields I'm going to have for that work item, what information I can capture will be available for me here. Now and this is the same process for any of the work item you would create. So let's say I'm creating a new work item here, learn Azure DevOps, right? So this is my work item title which I have created. Now then I can assign that, okay, what is my whom I want to assign this work item. So right now I am the let's say the user here, so I can have this available. Then I can change the I can save this work item before I move forward. Okay, now once it is done, I have an option here to define that what is the state. So you have a proposed, active, close, but in certain work items you might have a different types of state values available here, which can be, let's say in a bug case, it can be resolved state or something else, right? So you can define the different states as per the DevOps configuration, but as a function consultant you are just supposed to select what's available. Then you have the area path available. So area path can be, sometimes we want to manage that, okay, this is the work item for this is the work item for, let's say, finance, supply chain, or production. And then we can have the iteration. So if we are following, this is a sprint 1 or iteration 1, what is the as per my project management activities, which works which iteration or the sprint I am supposed to select. So I can select all these things. I have an option here to add a tag. I can add a tag, let's say this is a let's say functional issue or functional task, or what type of task. But I can have multiple tags attached here. It's not mandatory that or necessary that I just have a one tag which I can edit here. Then I have got the description here, so I can provide the description what this let's say the work item is about. So in this case it is to learn Azure DevOps. So I can say I learn Azure DevOps from functional consultant functional consultant role to understand the end-to-end work item management, right? So anything, so whatever is a description, if I want to add, I can add it here. Then I can save this. Then I have different options here. I can define the priority of this, what's the try is, I mean this try stage says there it's a pending, more information, is it blocked, yes or no, what's the estimate, original remaining work completed. Then I also have different disciplines which I can define here. Possibly you can customize these fields in a project where you can have, let's say, different work stream is specified, one different classification, right? Functional, technical, or the type of, like it's a configuration task or test task or development task, what type of task it is, or this work item basically. So it depends on that your DevOps configuration, which is not your responsibility. There will be a DevOps admin who will create all these things. There will be project governance team who will define that how we need to use each and every task or work item in the project and what is the purpose. Okay, then you have a discussion. Let's say you have the update on this. You can say that completed the learning for this, and you can, by creating at the rate, you can just specify that, okay, you can specify the different people whom you want to update on this particular task, and the DevOps will trigger the email for the same. And then you can click on the save here, and it is going to have, when you are doing this, you have an option of attaching inserting the image, having the different formatting and everything, which you have it here. Now apart from that, you also have on the right hand side, if you see on this, so you have got a details tab here. Now under the details tab, we are doing all these things. Now let's say if you want to attach this particular task to a related task, or you want to, let's say this is a task for my other task or the epic or the feature, a different work item which is there, so I can add or create a new work item and link to that, or add to a link to a existing work item. So if I click on the link to a existing work item, I can search that against which work item I want to define this. So let's say if I want to assign to this particular work item, so I can say that, but how do I want this to be linked as a like, is it a parent child relation, or it is just a related? So I can just select that it's a related and it is for this particular task, so I can just put yes. So now on this here on the right hand side, if you see, I can see this in the related section, and like this, if I have 10 different work items related to this, I can see all of them together here. I have a history here, so where I can see that who did what changes at what point of time. So I have all these things, and then next to this I have a related work item things which I can see in one go. And then also I have got the attachment, where if I have to attach any file or anything, I can just attach here and then save it. So this is how you can manage your different work item. You can create your work items and then you can manage this. You also have an option of importing the work items in bulk. If you would like to do, you can add the different columns on your screen by clicking on the column option, and you can just rearrange them by just moving here by dragging and drop, and you can add the different columns if you would like to add. Like, it is similar to the personalization which we do on Dynamics 365. So you can do this. You also have a filtering option here assigned to state, area, and everything. So this is how you can create and manage your work items I mean on a daily basis if you are working on the Azure DevOps. Now another important thing is that there will be so many work items available in any project. How do I find that, okay, on which work items I am working, I am responsible, or how do I manage my day-to-day activities, or how do I manage my team's day-to-day activities by looking at the task and the different work items they are working on. So for that purpose, what you have is that you can have the queries created here. So now there are different types of queries which you can create here. So let's say if I want to create a new query, I can just click on the new, and I can see the work item type. I can filter. Let's say if I just want to see the work item type, which is, let's say, the task which I have created. So I can say show me this query is just for the work item type task, and if it is assigned to, and then I can say that assigned to whosoever. So let's say right now I'm saying assigned to me, and I can run this query. And if you see, if I click on the results, so I can see that there is one task which has been assigned to me, and I can track this. And similarly, I can see this, I can create this query by clicking in the editor and then define the different filters and the options here to look at the task for any other team member which I want to do. But after that, what I can do is that I can save this query and give this a name that, okay, this is for assigned to me tasks. Okay, because I'm looking at the specific work item type, right? So now I can save this, and this is available for me. Now when I go to queries at any point of time, now I have assigned to me task, and I can always directly go and check it here. I can edit this query and say that what is the status. I just want to see all the tasks which are not in a closed status. So I can say, because I just want to see the open task, right? So I have done this. Now I can save this query, and I can have a save as. Now when I'm saving my query, I also have an option that this is just a my query, or I want to share this to other team members also. So if I want to share with other team members, I can have the shared queries available for them, and I can do this save. Now if I go back to queries here, you see under the shared queries, I have assigned to my task. So now apart from me, my other team members also can look at this particular query for the analysis purpose. So this is how you create your queries, you manage your work items. You can have a different boards available for you if you want to create different I mean, you can have that, okay, how many I mean new items are there, so you can just specify the different work item in different categories, so you can have the analytics available for you. But for as a function consultant, the important thing is managing the work item and know how to query the work items for me. Now apart from that, I have, if you remember, we were talking about the process catalog. Now how do we define the process catalog in a hierarchical way? So I have created one process taxonomy here, considering that I am going to have all the process catalog activities imported in Azure DevOps. So let's say I have taken a procure to pay one example here, and like this I should define for all the work items, all the process catalog work items which I have got from the Microsoft, or I can define my own process taxonomy here. Now if you see here, I have defined at any point of time, this is a task which I have created. So I have this procure to pay. Under the procure to pay, this is the type of epic. I have the another work item which I have created, which is define procurement sourcing strategy, level 2. And then I have a level 3, which is the define the procurement processes. Now under this, I have 3 different processes, which is if I want to increase the length of this, define the purchase order using workflow, purchase requisition using workflow, and RFQ using workflow. Now these are my level 4 processes, system processes under the taxonomy which I have created. So if I'm using the process catalog for my requirement gathering phase, I should have this in place, because now when I'll go and talk to the customer about, okay, do they follow the process for defining the process workflow process for the purchase order, then I can enter the description here that how this purchase order workflow process is required, how they follow, and what details we have got from the customer or the required stakeholders. And next to this, what I can do is that now under this, if as a process or as a project governance, if I'm following that, my solution architect or project management managers has decided that if you get any specific requirement, and then how do I know that that requirement relates to which particular process? So let's say the customer says that when we are doing the approval of the purchase order, our requirement is that there should be a notification, email notification triggered to the required user, and that user should be able to approve or reject that particular purchase order from the email. Now what I can do is that I can come to the Azure DevOps. I can open this work item and I can add a work item here, and I can use the new work item option here, and I can say that I want to create a child of this, and the type is the requirement. So email notification and approval for PO, and I can have this requirement available for me, and I can just use this, and I can just save this. Now these requirements I can capture here, and then later on I can utilize this for my fit gap analysis or the next activity which I'm going to do in the system. Now another advantage of doing this is that if you see, now I am able to track that I have got the requirement. Now this requirement relates to this process, and this relates to this, and then this is the procure to pay requirement. So like this, I can manage, plan, track all my work item, the activities which I am having under the project. Now how this query I have created, again, you can create the query, you have to learn that. So, but there are different options. So what I have done, that I want to see all the work items without having any filter on the state or any type, but I want to have the hierarchy form. So what I have done is that I have added a linked work item section here, where I want all the work items related to which are linked together, and I want to have them as a map to top level work item first. So top level is first, and then below that the child and then the type of tree is the parent child. Now if I run this query, and this is what I get it here. Okay, so this is how I can manage and use my queries. So I can create my own work items, update them, track them, and also I have another thing which, let's say if it is my assigned to me all the tasks, I also have an option to export to CSV, so I can export everything and use it. I can email this query to any other team member so that they can utilize this. So that's it for this video. Hope this video gives you an idea about that as a functional consultant, how you can use the Azure DevOps if you are completely new to the process, how you can manage your different work items, how you can create your queries, how you can assign to them, how you can put the comment, attachment, how you can link the different work item together with a different relationship like a parent-child relationship. So all these things you can do using Azure DevOps, and most importantly, nowadays Azure DevOps is a key tool in most of our implementations. So as a functional consultant, we should be aware about the basics of Azure DevOps. There are a lot of things which we have in Azure DevOps which I have not covered in this. In future, if required, I will create a detailed video on this, but the objective of this video was just to give you the idea about the Azure DevOps and its work item, because when you go and gather your requirement, talk to your stakeholders, so then you have to document them. So for documentation purpose, normally you will use Azure DevOps, and this is how we will document and create the requirements and link to the different processes in the system. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have got any queries, any questions, please feel free to put in the comment box. I will try to respond to that. And thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Thank you.